Okay, so this is George Wallach. We're going to do the last project of the class here, because I think it's the last. Um, so we're doing a simple, and this is going to be it's an animation, but we're really going to focus on simply fading things in and out, right? So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to kind of show how this part goes together by simply turning stuff on and off or fading things in and out. So that's how this is going to work. So let me show you how this is going to start here. So here we are, and we're right back where we were. I think if you remember, we were rendering, right? So here's my option. We're rendering. No big deal. Okay. So I'm going to simply move down the list here. And as I do, right, I'm going to go from, well, let's see here. I'm going to go from render. I'm going to go down to animation. So animation is going to work a lot like render in that we're going to have some basic controls, and we're going to have a timeline of how this is going to work. So right now, when you look at it, I'm not too sure how these got here. I'm going to try and delete these real fast. Yeah, there we go. So when it looks like you should have something about like this, which is sort of how it shows up. You shouldn't see anything down here. Now your components are going to be, these are all the pieces for your components. And I'm going to start by simply turning them all off. And as I do that, if you look down here, I'm setting some things. Everybody's getting a action to them because obviously this is happening at the beginning of my animation. So it is simply setting the visibility to all of these objects to off does something to my animation. And let me kind of show you what that is. So what it does to my animation is, I'm going to kind of drag this up now, is that it gives me all these different objects. And in the first 1 second of my movie, obviously all these things go from being on to being off. Okay. And that's kind of a convenient way to look at this, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to move my cursor over here, and I'm going to go to 5 seconds of the movie. And in 5 seconds in the movie, I'm going to turn the impeller on. Okay. Now, obviously here, right, if we take a look, that impeller now went from being everything is on to nothing is on to now the impeller turns on. And the impeller will stay on. So it'll just sort of happen there. Now, obviously, this is our little slider bar. So this is sort of how time happens. So this is boom, and then all of a sudden the impeller just suddenly turns on. If we want, we could have the impeller, we can take a look at this light bulb here, and then impeller is going from being totally translucent to being totally opaque within an instant. We can have that fade in over some time if we wanted to. So if we wanted to do something like this, so we could then, there's the impeller, and then the impeller is fully on. So something like that. And then I'm going to continue to kind of give myself a little rotate here. I'm going to kind of zoom up on it. And I'll be very careful not to touch the camera after this. So here we go. So now the next thing is I want to actually have the, oops, sorry about that. So the next step is I want to have the housing turned on. And there's the wheel housing, and obviously that one can come in shortly after the impeller, so I can kind of drag it that way. So now we have something where now that housing shows up. We're about 8 seconds in, so that's not bad. And then obviously we want to have, I'm going to give us a little twist around here. And there's going to be some pieces on the back that we want to put on. So for instance, the nut, the spindle, the stuffing box, the pulley, and not the cover, but the coupling, the nipple there, and that should be about it for now. So we're gonna let those things turn on. I'm gonna kind of look at this here. So now suddenly they're on. And just like I did before, I'm gonna take their visibility and drag them out maybe a couple of seconds to where they're gonna all come in and count at the same time. I can play with that. Okay, so we're going to kind of move this, and we're going to see all that stuff kind of come in, and we'll stop at that point. And then I'm going to be very careful, and I'm going to move this thing around like that. Okay. And then I'm going to turn my cover on. And I can put the cover over that. Now, obviously, that cover showed up right here, and I'm going to let it fade in just a touch. So I can be out here at about 15 seconds in. And there's the covers on. I've got a lot of miscellaneous bolts and stuff that will hold the cover on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm simply going to, at this point in time, I'm simply going to turn all those things on all at once. I'll show you how you can do all this relative, well, it's not painless, but also not totally painful. So if you notice down here, you've got a lot of these things. Now what you can do is you can let's see here. There it is. Holding the control key down, I can pick each one of these little lamps. And by doing that, I can then sort of have a little coordination on how this stuff. Now what I'm picking here, these are all the nuts and bolts that hold that cover on. And so what I can do is I'm simply going to fade them in at a different time. Now mind you, you can not only do these things to fade them, but you can also move them in. That gets a little more tricky. That's why I like to do this. So what I can do is I can grab this edge here, and I'm simply going to move it out to about, oh, let's say 21 seconds. I can fade all that in all at once there. So let's see what that's going to look like as I play. And away we go. So let's see how this thing looks from my, we can probably take this guy here and kind of stretch him out a little bit while we're at it. Okay. I moved all those beginnings back to 0. So when this thing starts, it'll start like All right, here we go. So we'll play this and we'll see how it looks. So there's the impeller coming into play. And there's my movie. Looks like I've got a rogue. Looks like I got a rogue washer out there someplace. Probably need to do something about it. Looks to me like that's what this washer is here. So there it is. So now if I wanted to take that movie, I'm going to start from here. If I wanted to take that movie and I'm going to publish it, I can simply publish that video, and I can publish it using I'm just going to use 640 by 480. And I'm just my current storyboard, which is storyboard 3. And I'm simply going to save it as an AVI file. And I'll simply have save. And there it goes. Now, to turn this in, it's a little weird. I really don't want you submitting the movie to me because the movie's going to get really big. So don't submit the movies because that gets a little crazy. But instead, what I want you to do is, if you take a look here, let's see here. There's this movie. So you can do a public link with it. And when that gets put into our that gets put into our that browser, that link is simply going to show okay, I'll have to download it. I'll be able to download the movie and watch it, but that way my Dropbox doesn't get filled up with lots of, there it is, and then my media player here will play it. Yes, I hope it's going to play it. Well, it should be, what, 10 megs? Shouldn't be that bad. 20 seconds long. Let's see what happens. If we can just try to open it. If I download it, try to open it that way. My computer's getting a little slow here, so sorry, guys. Yeah, that's not working. Let's try that again, shall we? All right, we'll try Windows Media Player. Well, bummer. And let's try that movie. Let's try that thing one more time then, because obviously there's something going on there. So let's see here. Go back to Fusion. Right, we're going to publish this link. Current story download. Current storyboard. Okay, good. 64 by 480. Looks like AVI is my only option here. All right, so there's my video being published. There's the upload in progress. We'll refresh the data. Version 2. There we go. Let's see if that is something that we can view, which is kind of what I wanted to do in the first place. Well, okay, yeah, it looks like it's another one. It says this may take several minutes. Not a big deal if it does. Just remember, just share it with me. Share with me the link, and I should be able to click on it and show and display it here. And I should be able to see your movie. So again, I'm not real concerned about how you do it. I just want you to demonstrate that you can turn things on and off and you can sequence the parts. That's really what I'm after. So as long as I see that, you'll be in good shape. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to finish with this, and that should be it for the course. So good luck on this. Talk to you later. Bye.